Hi guys. Hi everybody. We are almost done with April. How about that? Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Crafting with Nola and Oscar. I am really excited about this particular video because I'm going to get my hands messy. And for people who know me, y'all know I don't like to do that. But I love the result of getting my hands messy. So we're going to be working with the Perfect Partners die and stamps and the scallop tags by Sheena Douglas. So what I want to do in this first part, which is going to be a real short video, because the other video, the actual video, is going to be much longer. So what I'm thinking about doing is, or what I'm going to do actually, is I'm going to go over everything that you would need for today. What you would need for today, or when you want to do any of these projects. I'm sorry, I'm kind of pulling over my words. I apologize. So let's do that first. In this first video, part 1, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to print the picture so you can see it, and then I'll show you my desktop so you can actually see what everything also looks like as well. So you get 2 versions of it, and because we're going to do different messy processes. Some inks and then some resist inks and different things like that as well. So let me do that now, okay? So let me switch everything over. And the first thing what I want to do is I want to start with the desk. Okay, so here's the desk. This is everything that we're going to be working with. But I'm going to actually put up some pictures now to show you the actual pictures, because sometimes you may not be able to screenshot. And it also will help you not to have to necessarily put the narrative in, because you'll be able to see it actually on the screen. So I'm going to show you the stuff that you're going to need. So first of all, here are, this is the tags, okay? So that's the Sheena tags, okay? And that's the actual packaging, and it's called Perfect. So it's called Sheena Douglas Perfect Partners. And it was a whole bunch of flowers. I think the only one thing that I saw was the butterfly. Everything else was flowers. But these are the tags that you would actually put these on. So those are the tags, okay? And then the next thing, and we're going to be dealing with that particular tag and also that flower, okay? We're going to also be, and here is the stamp. So what happens is that this is the tags, and then you'll get the die, which I'm going to show you again. The die is right here. These are all separate. And then right here is the stamp. Okay, so you can either die cut it out of solid paper, which I'll show you, or you can die cut it out of white paper and then color whatever you want. Okay, then the next one, and I'll show you the packaging for the die. Here's the packaging for the die. Okay, all right, and it's called Blessings Blooming Lilies. Okay. All right, so then the next thing would be the butterfly, which is so pretty. I absolutely love the butterfly. So that's the butterfly. And I'll give you the names of them again. Let me see. Actually, I'll stick them down here. Here are the names. Okay, so the beautiful butterfly, the blooming lilies, and then here is the delicate poppies. I think it's, no, the snowdrops. And they look like poppies, but it's called snowdrops. So that's a die. So now I believe all of these came with stamps, but for some reason, which is beknownst to me, when I purchased these, and again, I purchased them a long time ago, I only got the stamps for the butterfly, Okay, so I only got the stamp and the die. This is me personally. I only got the stamp and the die for the butterfly, and then I got the stamp and the die for the lily. Okay, so those are the stamps and dies that we're going to be using doing the different projects. Now, what else you're going to need? Remember, I said you're going to have to get your hands messy, because remember, on this table, as you can see, on this table, there's a lot going on. So you can see here are the tags. Here's the lily, the I want to call it poppy, but the snowdrops die, and then here's the butterfly. Okay, but you're also going to need some other products which I'm going to actually show you right here. So let's go to those, so you can take a screenshot in case you wondered. Okay, so I used some Harmony Spectrum Noir Harmony ink pad to do some embossing. So clearly, if you're going to do some embossing techniques, which I'm going to show you what I did, you're going to need this. And it doesn't have to be black, but I just did mine in black because they come in different colors. But you'll need that. You'll need a drying apparatus. You know, like a hot gun, not a hot gun, but just a drying apparatus. I can't think what the name you call this thing, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Why can't I don't know what. I must be tired. Lord have mercy. So you're going to need one of these. You know, one of these deals. Right. Okay, and then clearly you're going to need some embossing powder. So that's one of the ways that we're going to actually color and decorate the doodads. Okay, then also we're going to, and this is where you're going to need your gloves, because I'm going to also actually use some of this Spectrum Noir, they're color pots. What are these things called? Ink pots. I think it was like a ton of them, but they came in sets, and I just pulled a couple of them out today, and we're just going to mess around. Now, what else you're going to need? You're going to need several other things, because again, this is part one, and I just want to go over the supplies that you would need if you ever wanted to do something like what I'm doing here now. Again, that's up to you, but if you want to do it, at least you'll have that information. Okay, all right, so let me show you what else you're going to need. And I meant to take a picture, but it doesn't matter. You're going to need some watercolor card, especially when you're working with these inks. Okay, and then you're going to want some either smooth stamping card or some alcohol card. So, because remember, alcohol markers. So you got to remember this one thing: whatever you're working with, that's the type of paper that you're going to need, right? So if you are working with alcohol markers, right, then you would need alcohol paper. Okay, marker paper. You can get it off Crafter's Companion, and sometimes you can even get it in like Tuesday mornings and places like that. You would need that type of thing. Okay, if you're working with this watery based stuff, then you would need watercolor card. Okay, to cut everything out, I just use stamping. But again, if you want to, the bottom line is whatever you're using, make sure you're using the right and appropriate kind of paper. Because if you don't, honey, believe me, when you get finished, it will let you know that you use the wrong kind of paper. I think that's just the best way to put that all together, okay? All right, so let me go back over the table so that you'll be able to see. Again, like I said, here's the lily, the stamp. Now, they're not real thick dies, but they're kind of thin, you know. So you want to be careful. See, they'll bend, so don't mess up and put it in the wrong thing, okay? So this is the lily, the blooming lily. And again, I'm going to put the names down here for you one more time. And again, this is just part one, okay? And again, this is just part one that we're doing, okay? So the blooming lily is here, and I'll show you how it looks. Yeah. Okay, so that's the blooming lily. Then this is the snowdrops. The snowdrops. Delicate snowdrops. I don't know why they call that, but again, I don't know why I keep thinking it's a poppy, but you know what a poppy is? It goes up and out, so I don't know why I keep thinking this is a poppy. Okay, then you're going to need, and then here's the butterfly. There's the butterfly. Huh? And I like it because it really has a lot of, as you can see, all of them have quite a bit of detail on them. All right, so you'll, if you have any of these, you want to use these. And now you don't have to. You can always use, you know what, here's the thing. The day we live in, try to go out and spend no more money unless you have to. Because these were so, I've had these things for at least 3 years. Maybe longer, I don't know. I've had them for a while. But here's the situation. Even if you have some tags like this or anything, you just want to take, you can use what you got, and you say, oh, I want to make something like what you have, Lola. Well, don't go buy nothing. Just look in your craft room, child, and see what you got, and you can make do with something else. You know, it's the same way like when you go in to get clothes. I done jumped off on something else, and I ain't even a shopper. But y'all know how women, you know how we do. We like, you go in the store and you say, oh, I like this shirt. And then, now for me, I hate shopping, but I'd be like, now, first of all, where can I wear this to, and how many times can I wear it, and what do I got at home that it will match? It's the same thing with your craft stuff. Okay, so just look in your craft stash and take the concepts that I'm showing you that I just kind of came up with on my own, and then keep it moving. All right, but that was a long, drawn out whatever, and I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this in the video, but y'all like when I say crazy stuff like this, so I might just keep it in there. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so these are the tags. I'm using the big one, so these are the tags. Okay, now here is the black pigment ink that I talked about. Remember, this is for the embossing. Should you decide to emboss, okay, and then, or if you're gonna use alcohol markers, you'll use these kind of pens, the tri pens, or any kind of alcohol-based marker you have. If you're going to actually color so say for instance, you're gonna cut the butterfly out. I'm gonna give you an example, and then this is just part one. You're gonna cut the butterfly out, right? You cut it out and you want to stamp it. Make sure that you stamp it with alcohol, right? Did I turn this around? Yeah, with alcohol. If I hold it like there, okay? Because when you go to put your alcohol markers on here, if you stamp this with anything else, it's gonna bleed. Okay, so you want to do it that way. And then if you don't want to use these ink pots to color your tab, your little thing like this, then you can always use some of these quick dry ink pads. Okay, and now the difference between the resistant or not resistant, what do I want to say? Let me get the name. I'll tell you right, child. I messed up. Okay, the water reactive ones is that these are water reactive too, but they dry quicker. You know, these dry quicker, and these hang around a little while on your fingers. Ha ha. All right, so you got that, and then the last thing is these dills here. Okay, and honey, you're gonna need some gloves. Now, unless you like getting that stuff all over your hands and looking like you've been fighting at the boxing match for the weekend, okay, use some gloves, because this is a messy situation. And you want some type of mat to protect your surface, depending on what you're working on. Now, these ink pots, again, like I said, there's a whole slew of them. They come in 6, and what happens is they have sparkles. Now, let me tell you, I'll tell y'all a little funny story, maybe not. But one day I decided not to. I don't even know how I did this, but clearly the top was not on good. I don't think I need to tell you anymore. I looked like I was out at the green factory. I had green ink everywhere. I mean, it was everywhere, on my fingers, everywhere. So make sure you tighten these jokers up. Now, if you look underneath, look at that. See that? That's because all the sparkle is right there. You can really see it. Yeah, there we go. See it? So what you have to do is, there's a little ball bearing in here. Now see how you can see it's green? And you just have to shake, you don't want to do it too much because you don't want the bubbles in it, but you do want to shake the weight, as they say, shake the weight. Now see, the more I'm doing this, you can see, it's mixing up. So you'll need some of these, okay? Also, it's good to have, like, say for instance, you say, I want a little bit of the pink, I want a little bit of that. You can use some of these little jokers here. I got them off of the thimbles or whatever these things are. I got a whole slew of them, matter of fact, off of, what are these jokers called? Well, that's not it, but either way, I got them off of Amazon. That looks weird, but that's what it's like. ELI. That's not back. It's almost backwards, but that and there's like 20. I think maybe about 20 of them, and that way you can kind of put whatever colors you want. You know, you don't have to. You know, it's just good to have. Okay, so you have those. Well, I already showed you that. You just shake them, shake like a maraca. You can, and again, just make sure the tops are on them. Let me see if I can get them so you can see what they look like. Down. No, that's not it. Mufasa. Okay, there we go. See, now you can see the colors. Ta-da! Now see that one right there, the purple one needs more shaking, but I just want to show you that. Okay, good to have an ink pad, paintbrush, because you can always dip the paintbrush in if you want, or you can even use one of these things by Spectrum Noir. It's just a little sprayer. You put your ink in, see how ink in, and then you can spritz it around, you know, if you want to really get fancy. And I'll show you all those techniques on part 2, but right now we're just dealing with part 1. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about this. Let's put everything up where I can find it so when it's time to craft. And then here's your watercolor paper. So I've cut one out. I've cut 2 out in watercolor paper because I'm going to do some examples. I'm going to actually do something with it. And then I'll have to let it dry, but I'll show you the finished product. But we're going to actually do the dyeing and some color this somehow. I don't know. I'm going to come up with something. And if it don't look right, I'm going to blame y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm blaming the pressure of the doing the video. But anyway, watercolor. And then I'm gonna use the big tag, tag. So I put these to the side. And one of the projects I did use the little tag. But we're going to use the big one because what you can do is either cut them, and I'll show you the ways. Either you can cut them like a card, right? You can cut them where it folds over like this, okay? Or you could just have a single by itself and then place it on something else. You know, there's all different kinds of things you could do, okay? All right, but what I did here, and let me put these somewhere so I do not lose them, because I don't know about you, but I am big time for losing my dies. I don't know about you, but I do it all the time. All right, so here we go. Let me show you this, and then this will basically be the end. Again, remember, you'll need some gloves and you'll need a surface. So this is going to be the end of part 1, the supplies that you're going to need for part 2 of the project. But I wanted to show you this. What I did is I took some stamping card out and I just simply folded it in half, and I put the big die on here, and as you see, the cutting edge is right here. So I moved the cutting edge a little over so that I wouldn't cut it into 2, but it would become one card like that. Okay, so that's how you do that. Okay, now if you wanted it to fold over, you do the same thing. You just move it up. Okay, but you keep the cutting on the inside, because if you want it to flip over, so you want that cutting edge back over. So you want to move the card back over, and then it's the top that you're gonna move up a little bit so that it doesn't cut all the way off and it'll flip up. But I'll show you that. Actually, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me see. So, and we'll go back over these later when I show you how I decorated them. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So this is what I've done already. And all I did was I put the die on so it would cut these pieces over, but that it wouldn't cut the top off. So see how it just flips over? It'll just flip over like that. Okay? All right, so that is it for part 1. Again, this is just part 1, okay, showing you how the supplies that you would need, okay, for the projects that we're going to do in the second video, part 2. The Sheena Douglas Perfect Partners Dies and Stamps and the Scallop Tags project. So thank you guys for watching, and just stay tuned for part 2, and I will see you in part 2. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, because I definitely do read your comments and I definitely do respond. All right, see you in part 2. Bye-bye.